Angel Reese is to be completely believed that there's no hate, they both get along, they're cool with each other, they're high-end competitors, etc., etc. And you also are old enough to know that in this society, whether they want to admit it or not, they don't like seeing somebody black coming at somebody white who is a beloved star of theirs. But you've known they were coming for you when you were waving your hands in your face to mock Caitlyn Clark when you were beating her for the national championship.
Angel Reese's steroid scandal just rocked the WNBA world. You won't believe how fast she went from rising star to league outcast. Remember when everyone thought she'd be the next big thing? Now she's facing a lifetime ban, and her reputation is in shambles. But here's the craziest part. Reese thought she could outsmart the entire league. She tried using steroids and muscle-boosting drugs to get ahead, but it all backfired. Now her coach is suspended, her team is a mess, and fans are left wondering, how did it all go so wrong? Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Remember when Angel Reese was the talk of women's basketball? She burst onto the WNBA scene like a comet, leaving everyone in awe. Fresh out of college, Reese had scouts drooling over her potential.
What is Angel Reese doing on the 50 most influential people in sports figures? Are you kidding me? A woman that rebounds and shows up half naked to games?
If you're going to put a black female from that league on that real estate, shouldn't it be Asia, not Angel Reese? Couple of things. I will say that about that cover with Miss Reese. It's an upgrade from some of the recent swimsuit edition cover models. I will give them that.
They said she'd be the next big thing, maybe even better than the legends who came before her. Her WNBA debut was nothing short of spectacular. Reese was dropping 20 points a game like it was nothing, grabbing rebounds left and right, and making veteran players look like rookies. Fans couldn't get enough of her. Jersey sales went through the roof, and every game she played was a sellout. It seemed like Angel Reese was destined for greatness. But then, something strange happened. Reese's performance took a nosedive. Suddenly, she was struggling to hit double digits in scoring. Her rebounds? Cut in half. That explosive first step that used to leave defenders in the dust? Gone. Fans started scratching their heads, wondering what happened to their superstar. Picture this. Reese, once dominating the court, now barely able to keep up with the pace of the game. She'd miss easy layups, fumble passes, and get out-muscled by players she used to tower over. It was painful to watch. The Chicago Sky, who had bet big on Reese as their franchise player, saw their playoff hopes fading fast.
50 most influential sports figures. Listen to this, who's on this list. Simone Biles, Don Staley, Candace Parker, Angel Reese, Asia Wilson, Juju Watkins.
There's one player that is the common denominator. It's the one that you've jumped off the bandwagon. And I have to be the Asian driver steering it back on course. All of this has to do with Caitlyn Clark.
Did you just listen to that? They're all virtually from the WNBA. A league that didn't matter 3 months ago now has 8 of the most influential people.
While Reese was struggling, another rookie was setting the league on fire. Caitlyn Clark was breaking records left and right, racking up an insane 761 points in her debut season. The contrast couldn't have been more stark. Clark was living up to the hype, while Reese seemed to be drowning in it. Fans and officials started raising eyebrows. How could a player with so much promise fall so far, so fast? Something didn't add up. That's when the whispers started. At first, it was just locker room gossip. Then, sports commentators began speculating on air. Was Angel Reese using performance-enhancing drugs? The rumors spread like wildfire. Some said Reese had been spotted with known steroid dealers. Others claimed her sudden muscle gain wasn't natural. The WNBA, always vigilant about its image, started paying close attention. Random drug tests became more frequent, and all eyes were on Reese. Little did the WNBA know their increased scrutiny was about to uncover a scandal bigger than anyone could have imagined. Reese's desperate gamble was on the verge of backfiring spectacularly, but here's the kicker. she wasn't the only one who'd go down in flames. You know what's crazier than using steroids? Thinking you can outsmart an entire professional sports league. That's exactly what Angel Reese tried to do. With her performance tanking and the pressure mounting, Reese made a decision that would change everything.
So by having Angel Reese on the cover is like basically saying, again, that's the Caitlyn Clark effect. All of those names you mentioned a year ago, I believe most of the general populace would not know who they are. They know who they are a little bit.
This expansion, they're drunk on Caitlyn Clark. Kunta Kinte has them drunk and thinking, hey, we can now expand. And I think the rosters are 12. Caitlyn Clark is the slave that's building the WNBA, and all these black women are climbing all over top of her and piggybacking her to relevance and money. She's Kunta Kinte.
She turned to banned substances, hoping they'd give her the edge she needed to stay on top. But Reese wasn't just popping a few pills here and there. She went all in, using a cocktail of steroids and muscle-boosting drugs that would make a bodybuilder blush. She thought she had it all figured out, timing her doses to avoid detection, using masking agents to throw off the tests. For a while, it seemed like she might actually pull it off. Then, out of nowhere, the bomb dropped. Someone close to Reese had snitched. Was it a teammate who got suspicious? A trainer who noticed something off? Or maybe even someone from her inner circle who couldn't keep the secret anymore? Whoever it was, they blew the lid off the whole operation. The moment the news broke, it was like a tornado hit the Chicago Sky locker room. Players were in shock, some in tears, others furious. How could their star player, their leader, betray them like this? The trust that holds a team together shattered in an instant, but the scandal didn't stop with Reese. As the WNBA dug deeper, they uncovered something even more shocking. Coach Teresa Weatherspoon, a legend in her own right, had known about Reese's steroid use. Not only that, but she'd helped cover it up, thinking she could protect her star player and save the team's season. The league was facing a crisis like never before. This wasn't just about one player making a bad choice. It was about the integrity of the entire sport. Fans were outraged, sponsors were threatening to pull out, and other players were demanding action. The WNBA had to respond, and respond big. And respond they did. In a move that sent shockwaves through the sports world, the WNBA announced their decision. Angel Reese, the once rising star, now faced a lifetime ban from professional basketball. At just 22 years old, her career was over before it had really begun. Reese's career was over, but the Chicago Sky's nightmare was just beginning. Imagine showing up to work and finding out your star coworker just got caught in a massive scandal. Now picture that happening in front of millions of fans. That's exactly what the Sky faced, and trust me, it wasn't pretty. The Chicago Sky had started the season with so much promise. They were riding high on Angel Reese's star power, packing arenas and racking up wins. Fans were buzzing about championship potential, but all that came crashing down the moment Reese's steroid use was exposed. With their star player suspended and facing a lifetime ban, the Sky's performance took a nosedive. It was like watching a car crash in slow motion. After the Olympic break, they went on a brutal losing streak, managing only 3 wins against 13 losses. Every game was a struggle, with the team looking lost and demoralized on the court, but the real drama was happening behind the scenes. The Sky's locker room turned into a war zone. Players who once had each other's backs were now pointing fingers and throwing blame. Trust? Gone. Team spirit? Shattered. Morale? Rock bottom. It was every player for themselves, and the results showed on the court. The worst part? Talented players like Camila Cardoso, who should have been getting their chance to shine, were left warming the bench. While the veterans were busy fighting and trying to salvage their reputations, young stars in the making were stuck on the sidelines, watching their own dreams slip away. As the losses piled up, everyone started wondering, would anyone's career survive this train wreck? The Sky had gone from potential champions to league laughingstock in a matter of weeks. Sponsors were backing out, fans were demanding refunds, and the media was having a field day with every new development. The final blow came when the Sky's management decided they'd had enough. Coach Teresa Weatherspoon, once respected as a WNBA legend, got the axe. Her involvement in covering up Reese's steroid use was the last straw. The team limped to the end of the season with a dismal 13-27 record, a far cry from the championship dreams they'd started with. As the dust settled on the Chicago Sky's disastrous season, a bigger question loomed. What happens when a rising star falls before they even reach their peak? Angel Reese was about to find out just how high the cost of cutting corners can be. Let's talk about what Angel Reese really lost, and it's way more than just some games. At 22 years old, Reese is facing a lifetime ban from the WNBA. That's not just a suspension or a fine, it's game over. Her reputation? In tatters. Her future in professional basketball? Gone in the blink of an eye. Imagine being Angel Reese right now. 1 minute, you're on top of the world, the next, you're watching your dreams crumble. The reality of never stepping onto a WNBA court again is sinking in, and it's hitting hard. No more game-winning shots. No more cheering crowds. No more chance to prove yourself against the best. All those years of practice, all those sacrifices, poof, gone because of one terrible decision. But Reese's fall from grace isn't just about her. The entire WNBA is feeling the aftershocks. Fans are questioning everything now. Who else might be cheating? Can we trust what we're seeing on the court? The league's reputation took a serious hit, and rebuilding that trust isn't going to be easy. You know what makes this whole mess even crazier? While Reese's career is imploding, Caitlyn Clark is out there breaking records and doing it the right way. Clark's racking up points, making headlines, and showing everyone what hard work and natural talent can do. It's like watching two different movies playing side by side. One's a feel-good sports flick, the other's a cautionary tale. So here's the million-dollar question. Is there any way back from this kind of betrayal? Can Angel Reese ever redeem herself in the eyes of fans, teammates, and the league? It's not looking good, folks. A lifetime ban is no joke, and the WNBA seems dead set on making an example out of her. The harsh lesson here? Shortcuts lead to dead ends. Reese thought she could cheat her way to the top, but all she did was cheat herself out of a promising career. Now, instead of being remembered as a WNBA legend, she'll go down in history as a cautionary tale, the star who burned out before she ever really got to shine.